I'm doing this video up a different way because I think the last time I made it, it didn't really make the point as clearly as I hoped it would. So here we go. What I'm interested in is figuring out ways around paying staff. What can a business afford to pay staff? What makes sense for everybody involved? All of these relationships and all of these things, they kind of need to make sense for everybody. So the customer has to be getting a reasonably fair deal. The client or the coach needs to be getting a reasonably fair deal, and the business owner needs to be getting a reasonably fair deal. So what I want to do is just highlight how some small things can make a really, really big difference in this stuff, and maybe give it some context for people who are looking at this either as an owner or a coach. Generally, the way this works is you've some source of interest, right? Facebook or your website or LinkedIn or a referral or somebody heard about you or whatever it is. And generally what happens next is there's an inquiry. That inquiry leads to a conversation. The conversation could be on the phone, it could be via email. There's lots of different ways of doing this, but generally that's what happens, okay? Coach A and Coach B. Coach A gets, over the course of a year, 150 inquiries, okay, or opportunities. Of that, he converts 30% on average, okay, which means he sells 45 memberships. The average client value, okay, which is simply how much does an average client spend over the entire amount of time that they're a customer of the business, is €1,500. That means that coach, all other things staying the same, is going to sell a total of €67,500 worth of membership. He's going to put that revenue into the business, okay? Now, Coach B, on the other hand, converts at around about 10%, okay? That means at €1,500 and him selling 15 memberships in total, he's going to sell €22,500 worth of memberships. Now, that is a very, very stark contrast. You're looking at €45,000 of a difference for somebody who has the same opportunity, okay? And that's important for people to understand, because people can kind of get a little bit kind of hell-bent on, well, I'm putting in X amount of hours and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Ultimately, it's down to the value of the work that you do and what can you produce with that work. If we change the numbers just a little bit and we move it to an average client value of $2,000, okay, so that means you have a membership of about 160, 165 quid a month, and people stick around with you for 12 months, you're going to see Coach A has €90,000 worth of value that he's sold. And again, we're ignoring all the other variables, but let's just look at it like that. And Coach B has 30,000. You can't treat them the same way, okay? You can train this guy up, you can teach him the skills, you can try and develop him and do all of that kind of stuff, but ultimately they're miles apart, okay? There's an old kind of rule of thumb in business. It's changed a little bit because the kind of business infrastructure has moved and cost bases are changing and stuff like that, but generally you probably want to be managing 3 to 4 times your salary in terms of money. So that means if somebody wants to make 70 grand a year, they probably want to be taking care of around about 200 grand's worth of stuff. I hope that's useful. If you've got any questions, please do let me know. Pop them in the comments or send me an email. Thanks.